Let's start with the question.
The
Actually, tell them the question. I have to get my drink because I left it over there. I'm thirsty already.
Okay. So the question today is about confidence. What does it take for you to be confident? What does that look like? Do you think you're confident? So confidence is essentially what we're going to talk about this hour. Why is it important? Why is it important that we know if we're confident, or when it is that we feel, what things make us feel confident? Why is confidence so important? So that's our topic for today. Hello, Stir Festival. Hello, everybody joining us. And so it's nice to be here with you all. And so how do you build confidence, right? So why is confidence important? In no particular order, one of the things that I was just thinking about when I was thinking about this topic for today was, I go in and out of feeling confident about things and being able to be confident. Hi, dead girl. And as I stepped into my dominance, one of the things that I became aware of, especially as I began to talk with people about from the S side of the slash, what they needed in a dominant in order to feel comfortable, in order to feel safe, one of those things that comes across all the time is confidence. They want to know that the dominant is confident, they know, and what they're talking about, they know what they're doing. And that really hit home for me because I know that I have confidence, but sometimes I don't. There's a gap between how I feel on the inside and how I come across on the outside, right? So it was important to me to begin to focus on it specifically, right? Rather than just be like, oh yeah, I'm confident, and not really look at it past that, and not really see in what ways am I confident, in what ways does my confidence waver, when does it waver, what do I need to do about that? So those are some of the thoughts that go into a discussion, at least for me, about confidence.
You know what I realize is, let's define confidence. Give me a second. By definition.
Okay.
Because this is what we've been doing.
Yeah, we've been doing this. We've been like, let's get the dictionary definition. Let's find out what the word means. The nice thing about a dictionary definition for me is, and this is an aside, which indulge me for a second, right? There's the connotative meaning of words and the denotative meaning of words. And by that I mean there is what the dictionary says, that how the word is defined. But then there are ways that people use words, the connotative, like, it's not necessarily what it says in the dictionary. It's kind of like the way you were raised and how your family used it. And maybe it's a little bit different in terms of how you believe it to be. So I think starting with the dictionary definition is always a great place.
So the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something. Firm trust.
All right.
Right? That's one. The other is the state of feeling certain about the truth of something.
Okay.
And another one is a feeling of self-assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities.
That's the one I've been talking about, right? So read those other two again, the first two.
The feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something, firm trust.
Like, so I have confidence in you.
Yeah.
Right?
That you are what you say you are.
Right. Okay. And then what's the second one?
The state of feeling certain about the truth of something. That comes back to that
right.
again. That
right.
you are who you say you are. This is what it says it is.
Right.
I have the confidence on this stone in the water that it's supposed to float. Well, depending.
Right. Yeah, but and also I think that can be applied to ourselves as well, right? With some of my confidence is born out of the idea that I know the truth about something.
Here's another one.
Okay.
A feeling or consciousness of one's power or resilience of one's circumstances.
Read that one again.
A feeling or consciousness of one's powers or of reliance on one's circumstances.
Okay, that's kind of...
Had a perfect confidence in her ability to succeed.
Right.
Faith or belief that one will act in a right, proper, or effective way.
Wow, there's a lot of them.
Have confidence in a leader.
That they'll do the right thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
The quality or state of being certain. They had every confidence of success.
Yeah, okay.
Certitude.
Certainty, yeah.
A relation of trust or intimacy took his friend into his confidence.
Okay, that kind of confidence, right? Like secrecy. Thank you for the bear, dead girl. Natalie's not here, but I'll have to tell her.
And then we have Reliance on another's discretion.
Right, keeping a confidence.
Keeping confidence, yeah.
Right.
Support, especially in a legislative body. Vote of confidence.
Oh, I don't know about that, but
A communication made in confidence, a secret.
right. So that's the thing. The secret thing is the confidence, and the keeping of it is to keep a confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I had no idea this word had so many variations of use,
Right.
but it makes sense.
So now when it relates to the BDSM journey, so shit, we're going to have to build out on this question. All right,
So we're not teaching you anything this month.
That we're not learning. Yeah, you're
we're gonna
learning
learn
with
lots.
us.
We're gonna learn lots as we go.
So let's a feeling or consciousness of one's power or of reliance on one's circumstances. So how would we relate that definition to the journey?
Well, I think that definition more specifically relates to what I was talking about before we got the definitions, which is the understanding that I gained of the importance of a dominant being confident, so that the dominant being confident engenders confidence in the submissive. So there's two ways that word is used, right? I'm confident, but then you have confidence in me as a result of my confidence.
Yeah.
Right?
Now, whether it's if it's solid confidence or false confidence, that's a whole nother story. But that's not in the circumstance.
No. You're right. Dead girl, it's true. Synonyms are a great way to help flesh out your understanding of a particular word.
So let's pull those up.
Why not? Faith being one that resonates with you. Faith insofar as confidence is concerned. That's awesome. Like, I have faith in you is the same way as saying I have confidence in you. I like that.
So, let's see, synonyms. How about this? Relating to or adept at swindling by false promises. It's an adjective. A confidence game, a confidence man.
Oh, wow.
Trust me.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, fatally yours. Thank you. You mean, but even in that way, when you're trying to like, not in a good way, gain someone's confidence for a confidence that they say, "Oh, trust me."
Yeah.
Right. Like you see it in the movies, even when people do that. Right. When somebody's trying to get over.
There's no one here hiding in the closet with a machete. Trust
That's
me.
how every horror movie starts. like that one we're waiting to have, like Say No Evil, the one that's coming out.
Say no evil.
The one with the boy.
Oh.
And the guy is always saying, "You can trust me."
Yeah.
And then he has those eyes.
Yeah. All right, so let's go into. So where did we land on one? A feeling of or consciousness of one's powers.
Yeah.
Or reliance of one's circumstance.
One circumstance. So how do you relate to
give that example again?
Oh, for me, that's my being confident as a dominant. Me relying on my. Say those words again.
Reliance on one's circumstances or a feeling or consciousness of one's powers.
Right. So being aware of who I am as a dominant and being conscious of it, but being able to be confident in my all the words are in my head of all the different definitions, but my abilities, what I know, I'm certain about it inside myself.
My relationship with that is when I was doing the session with that person, and they said, the most impressive part was when you walked over to the toy, the flogger, you picked it up and you just used it. He says that was the most dominant thing I'd ever seen. He said you had so much confidence.
Mm-hmm. In this case, I think the way you're using it here, confidence also relates to certainty. Right? Not only did you have the confidence, you walked over and with certainty you knew which toy you were going to pick up.
Well, the consciousness of my own power, right?
Yeah.
Of that, the certainty that
Yeah.
I'm going to use it, I'm going to pick it up, I'm going to use it because I know how and I know what I'm going to do with it.
Right. And you also know it's the right tool for right now.
Well, there was a lot of right tools for right now, but that's
but your choice was born out of a whole confluence of those things: the person, the time, the circumstances where you were in the session, etc.
Yeah.
So this is the one now. If I can't explain it simply, then I don't know it. So fatally yours. To answer questions, if I can't explain it simply, then I don't know it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Yep.
That's an issue that I have because I trip on words a lot. You'll notice that about me after a minute. Like when these calls start and I start to begin to explain something, I first go, and it makes it seem like I don't know what I'm talking about. And for some, I'm trusting that I'm going to get over that someday. But I understand that it portrays the idea that I don't know what I'm talking about, which is not true, but I have trouble finding words.
So let's go into the second one. Faith or belief that one will act in a right, proper, or effective way. Have confidence in the leader.
Yeah. I think that's confidence from the submissive side in this conversation.
Well, for any leader.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you have to build confidence in the submissive and the confidence in the dominant and confidence in your partner. So it's like, so the question here is, how is the person building that type of confidence in you? Are you aware of them being responsible, them being able to meet their match their words, essentially? Are they present? Are they doing what's right consistently? And are you aware of this so that you can build the confidence in this person in which you will allow yourself to be vulnerable with, in any way for that matter?
Yeah.
Right? Because I need the person I'm going to engage with to be confident in communicating with me. And if not, then I have to create the environment to help them find the language to be confident in communicating with me. But ultimately, I need them to be sure of what they're saying to me so that I can trust them and I can follow their lead in what they're telling me they're okay to do or doing with.
This is on either side.
Yeah, it's period.
Yeah. I saw those blue hearts. Thank you. We got 3 rows.
Thank you for the blue hearts.
We got 3 rows of blue hearts. I had a thought and it went right out of my head.
Instagram, you can send us money. It's better than
yes.
We don't have green hearts in Instagram, but we love you too. So hold on, we got for me. There's a difference between having faith and knowing. Oh yeah.
Yes.
A friend and I were working on effective communication to build trust and be more vulnerable. Oh yeah, faith and knowing are 2 different things.
Yeah.
Faith and knowing are 2 different.
That's
things.
Another whole topic.
Yeah, and I could talk about that for hours.
We could talk about that for hours. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I think a lot of these things, like speaking clearly about trust and being vulnerable, are ways that we build confidence, right?
How do you guys build confidence?
Yeah, how do you guys
drop some words in the comments. There's one thing I find interesting: trying to manage the confidence of a 24/7, not just in the scene. 24/7 is tough. 24/7 is tough. I live with my slave, and we were talking about last night how when she's in her dom space, she chest bumps me, right?
You should put up that video. That was funny.
But it's like, I don't see myself as, actually, I don't know. I have to sit with how this is changing that. Because...
Well, have you lived with...
no, yes.
Someone in a dynamic like this in a minute?
No, not in a minute. Yeah. Also, my relationship with it has changed as well as what I understand it to be. So, I'd have to get back to you on that, on the 24/7.
Yeah. I like what you said too, Fatal Yours, about learning and research. I think those things also, we were talking last night in this question about confidence, about, this is what I was going to say before, about doing little things over and over, trustworthy things. Like I can have confidence in you when I watch you do small things well, consistently over time. Right? It's not just how you handle one big thing, but it's how you handle all the little things in everyday life over time.
So I guess to come back to the question, I was thinking about it. Manage confidence. So 24/7 in confidence is difficult because I make mistakes. Sometimes I wake up not in the right headspace. Sometimes I'm feeling very vulnerable and I don't feel dominant and I don't feel strong and I feel weak. And it's like, how can someone want to follow me if this is who I am? So I get those experiences from time to time. So it's not easy to keep it 24/7 because I'm human.
But what I would say what I would counter that with is this thing about seeing you or anyone in bits over time. if you or any you were exuding some kind of confidence 24/7, I wouldn't believe you. I would believe that you were faking, because people are not like that 24/7. Real human beings who are in touch with themselves, who are on a journey, who are having a life, because we are not our titles, right? I'm not just a dominant. I'm a whole person, and that's part of who I am. And just because you wake up feeling a little insecure or on the wrong side of the bed or whatever it is, doesn't make you less dominant in the areas of your where that is part of you. It just makes you more of a human. And I trust people, and I trust people who feel that way and are willing to show up in that vulnerability. If you felt like that's something you needed to hide from me all the time, you wouldn't look like a whole person, and I wouldn't be able to trust you, because I would feel like you don't understand that about me, because I know I feel like that, right? No matter how good I'm doing, I have days where I wake up like that. So if I can look at you and see that you do that too, then I have more confidence in you.
Thank you, Mama.
Yeah, by letting me see that side of him, I would have more confidence in him. Exactly. Fatal yours is the same thing.
Say it.
I'm sorry. Fatal yours is the same thing. By letting me see that side of him, I would have more confidence in him. Exactly. And it's also, it gives me an opportunity to see how you or anyone handles it when you're that way, right? Like, so when you maybe speak in a way you would rather not, what do you do afterwards? Maybe you have a bad moment. You do. So what do you do then? How do we handle our less than perfect moments? Thanks, Starship.
I'm gonna do this. Hold on a second. But keep talking.
Okay, so there's that aspect of it too. It's like when you're not in a perfect place, when you're not in a perfect place, when you're not having a great day, and even let's say you do something, you make a mistake, you do something that you shouldn't do, or you say things you shouldn't say, or whatever. Like, I do too, and if I can watch you do it and then watch how you handle it, not only do I learn from it, I get to feel safer. I get to feel more confident in my ability to be. I'm not perfect, and I'm not comfortable around people who sort of put on some sort of perfect confidence all the time. It's just not real to me. Thanks, Sixaroo. Sixaroo said, "I agree, Kat." Thanks.
I'll bring you right here.
Yeah. A good leader understands they don't lead in all roles. Absolutely. Right? A good leader knows how to delegate and knows how to hand the baton. Like, knows that, as a leader, I know I can't do all the things. And so what makes me a good leader is finding the people who can.
The fucking tripod's driving me nuts. I have to fix it.
Okay, yes, to fix it. I guess because we're a little bit
it's
like
the
this.
tilt. It's the tilt. It's going to drive me nuts.
Yeah. I'm just looking to see if anyone said anything else, looking to see for the comments.
Well, that's why, sorry.
It's okay.
Almost there.
Almost there. So this is our first one. Once we have all the technology figured out, it'll be smooth sailing.
Fucking tripod. All right, there we go. We even?
So we're in. I think we're even. I think you're good.
There we go.
So what does confidence look like for you? What do some of you do to build confidence? What are the things that you do to build confidence? We can wait.
So while we do that, I want to ask. All right, so we just spoke about having confidence in a leader.
So I can't read the name. It says being able to cry in front of them and being confident that they will be supportive. I like that. For some people, that's a big deal. To be able to cry at all, but then to be able to feel safe enough to cry in front of someone, that's a big deal. Dead Girl, say more. Research and development. This is how you build confidence for yourself? I'd love to hear more about that. Talking to people and getting different perspectives. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I find that's true about a lot of things. And I've recently been able to do that even more, to be able to go out when I don't know something, to just try to find someone who does.
Sorry, Mama, sorry. I'm just trying to get the TikTok comments up. Why are you going? There we go. All right.
This is what happens when you have 18 devices. My daughter tells me I cry too much. Listen, No one cries more than me, and I stopped apologizing for it. It's just part of how I function, and if it helps, you can say that about yourself too. It's just, it doesn't mean anything. Like, I cry sometimes when I do scenes. I've had to tell people, crying's not a safe word. Like, it's okay to cry. Crying's all right. It doesn't mean anything needs to change or stop.
Hey, we have the comments.
Oh, cool.
All right. Glasses.
Yeah. It's all right. I'll find a pair.
I can read.
Right here.
You
You
got
can
it?
read it. Oh, I like that, Fatally Yours. I will search out those who I know don't agree with me and discuss something with them because they might, I'm assuming, have a different perspective. Yes, Catherine, Amy, I cry at movie trailers. The movie hasn't even started yet, and I'm crying, right? Like, he only laughs like that when it's true.
And I have confidence that she will every time.
Yes, Fatally Yours, that when you talk to people who don't agree with you and they have a different perspective, that they see something that you don't. That takes a certain degree of confidence just as a person, right? So many people are intimidated by people who don't agree with them. I think half the problems in the world right now stem from the fact that people can't tolerate that other people don't agree with them. But let's not digress.
I'm trying to make the text larger, but I'll figure
That's
that
all
out
right.
another
I
time.
have these.
So let's go on to this one here.
Okay, a different definition.
Yes, and the definition is the quality or state of being certain.
Yeah, that's confidence as certainty. Certainty for me comes from skill and practice, right? Like anytime I learn something new, I'm not good at it for a while, and so I don't have a lot of certainty. But when I practice it, learn more about it, practice it some more. Someone was saying that, and read it, watch it, see it, do it myself, and present it to others. Yeah, like that. Like, that's how I learned something. We always say that once you can teach something, you really know it.
Yeah, it's yours.
Right. And so the certainty develops in that process, going from learning something new to being all the way able to teach it. That's one of the things we're watching happen in the people who are in the mentorship program, right? As they're acquiring these skills, they're practicing them, and then being able to, the ones that are here in the New York City area are even able to come and facilitate other people doing this kind of work, right? The teaching being the evidence to the fact that they've really internalized the information and are able to do something with it.
Well, I think breaking it down to the fundamentals, right? So a person has a functioning understanding of what they're engaging in, intention, practicality, functionality, right? Mm-hmm. They understand what it means to them. It's like you can drive a car, or you can learn how to drive a car yourself, right? Meaning you're gonna have your own adjustments in the seats, your own mirrors, your own all that stuff, versus getting into a car and you're gonna have to follow a certain set of instructions to drive the car. And so when we make it theirs, when it comes to doing rope, showing them that they have the ability to do it,
Yeah.
is where they start to build the confidence in it.
Yeah. Yes.
Right? And so I guess how do you build confidence is through process, by practice,
Yeah.
by training.
I have to write notes because I get a thought and then it goes right out of my head. That's what we started this definition with, was practice. Learning something and then practicing it until you get good at it. And then I think competence leads to confidence, right? When you are good at something, when you know how to do something and you're competent, it's much easier to feel confident about it, right? I mean, I suppose it's possible to be good at something and not have confidence. That's a possibility also. But I do think that it's easier to feel confident when you know something and you know how to do it. It's not just book knowledge, but you have experience with something, you've been able to engage with other people around it, et cetera, et cetera.
Crawl, walk, run. Also see one, do one, teach one.
Yeah, these are all great. I love all this. Also see one, do one, teach one. That's great.
So in the realm of building confidence in this journey, you're doing your homework, you're doing your research, but you're also practicing it. You don't just bookmark the knowledge, but you have to put the knowledge into practice. Meaning the communication forms that you are going to be engaging in negotiation and transparency and truth, apply that across the board to everything.
Right.
And see how the relationships, I'd say, evolve.
Well, ongoing relationships where you're doing this kind of work absolutely evolve.
Right, and then you build the confidence in speaking your truth.
Right.
Right, because that's also very difficult. Is when you start to do that within this journey, and journey beyond leather, kink, and BDSM. When you start getting confidence in standing in what is real for you, it changes your life.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and I mean, and part of what happens in this journey too is we become more aware of who we really are. And then I can have confidence about that. When I'm not certain about myself, it's hard to have confidence. When I have mixed up feelings about things, when I haven't sorted things out, when I haven't had the opportunity to speak my truth to someone else and see what that feels like, to have someone, you know, the whole seen and heard part of what we do, right? Like we teach people how to hold space, and we facilitate people holding space for one another, to have that experience of, here's my truth. I've done enough introspective work to know that this is my truth, but now I'm going to speak it honestly and vulnerably in front of another person. And once I do that, and I see myself mirrored back in a non-judgmental way, in a supportive way, I have confidence that that's who I am. I have confidence that that's what's true for me about myself. I think compassionate reflection helps us build confidence in ourselves.
Now, sitting here talking about why is this important to build is ultimately for your word.
Yeah.
The ability to speak your word.
Yeah.
That's why is it important, because of that.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, I think it does lend itself, it feeds its way into integrity, which is, to me, the ultimate part of being of your word is integrity, right? I have, in places in my life, faltered in that way because I haven't always known. Sometimes I'll speak without thinking, and sometimes I'll say things that I haven't really thought all the way through, and then I find myself at the other end, like my actions don't always match my words because I have to be a little bit more careful about my words. So that's been something that I've struggled with, and one of the ways that I get to do that is by, you know, doing the self-reflection and then getting to just speak the words in front of another person. Very, very powerful stuff to be able to do that.
That girl says, I feel that is an aptitude, Mama. I still feel that still needs that fine tuning.
I'm not sure which thing was the aptitude. Can you say more? That girl? What I do want to say as an aside is one of the things that occurred to me in this lifestyle is confidence in places, right? It's very vulnerable to do this. It's very challenging. We're nervous a lot about going to new spaces. What are those places going to be like? So watching how those people manage their spaces, can I be confident that if I'm safe when I go to place A now, am I going to be safe when I go again? You know, building confidence in the places we go to by watching how the people handle the spaces that they manage. So there's a whole confidence piece that came to my mind about that.
Yeah, I just saw the tripod over there, and I was confident it was on the sofa. Like, why is it next to the sink? All right.
Did that girl get back to us about what she was meaning?
Let's see. She was talking about some people just have a skill for things.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank
you
so
like
much.
An aptitude, like a knack for something.
So, the quality, did we do a quality or state of being certain?
Yes, that's the one we were just on.
A relation of trust or intimacy took his friend into his confidence.
That's the, not the secrecy thing, but kind of.
Yeah, but kind of.
Yeah, but kind of.
So, and it relates to the question, how do you build confidence? And
yeah.
I think that is, for me, feeling safe. But a person has to show me in their actions that they are safe.
That they're trustworthy.
That they're trustworthy.
Right.
Right now, to say something in confidence. So what would I say in confidence, right? Because then I have
That's tricky for me.
What's a secret, right? What has to be kept in confidence versus, like, I almost see like a line between good and bad in that shit, right? Good and bad being relative. But like to say something in confidence, you have different things you can say in confidence, like, hey, that guy's a fucking asshole, right? Or you say, listen, someone's not doing well. And this is what you should know about them. Saying it in confidence that they don't share it, but just that they're aware of it.
Yeah.
Right, so those are two different approaches to what's the information that's being kept in confidence with, right? Because then that goes into judge of character and shit like that. And
yeah, I have a dicey relationship to that. I feel like if I am saying something to anyone that couldn't be said to everyone, I think a good 4 or 5 times before I say it. Because just saying to someone, I'm saying this to you in confidence, is no guarantee that that person won't tell other people, even in the best of intention, right? But if I really intend for something to not go a certain place, then there's a very, very, very small group of people that I would speak to like that in confidence and have trust and have confidence that they could keep that confidence.
So I have the initial starter pack of trust and respect.
Okay.
The person has to go beyond that to prove themselves of good character. Meaning, because I'm not going to entrust you with it because you've said, hey, dude, you can trust me with shit. I'm going to entrust you with it because I feel I can entrust you with it, and this is something I need to communicate. If I have to do something in confidence, it has to be something significant.
Right.
So I have to believe that you are a good person, a good moral character,
Yeah.
that you won't push up against my confidence in you.
Right. And I do think that the example you gave is one of the better ones. I think that there are some things that are more worthy of being done in confidence than other things. I think the one where we just talk bad about people is not really a good one. I think the one where we're relaying information about someone from a position of compassion is a more worthy thing to be thinking about relaying confidently.
I mean, I could throw the word gossip in there. Right?
Yeah.
But do you really gossip with confidence unless you have confidence that shit's going to spread, right?
Do you have to verbalize to the inner circle in confidence? I'm telling you. Yeah, I think we're talking about that. Like when you're saying something that you to anyone, one person, anyone that you feel like needs to be held in confidence, then you need to say that.
Usually, my shit starts with, "Do not repeat this to anybody."
Yeah. And I'm just, I don't. Fatal yours. I don't like gossip. I don't like to gossip. And one of the definitions that I was given for that a long time ago is if you say something don't say anything about someone who's not in the room, and don't say anything about someone that you wouldn't say to their face. Right? And so, when I can check boxes on those two things, I'm usually on okay ground when it comes to that sort of thing.
Then we have, I can't trust somebody who tells me to trust me because 9 times out of 10 you can't.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
So, let's see. We were talking about just now relation of trust and intimacy, confidence in someone. Also, I guess reliance on another's discretion. Their story was told in strictest confidence. The legislative body, a vote of confidence, meaning I believe you're going to do the right thing, so I support you.
That when they use that though, I mean, anyone can correct me if I'm wrong. Usually that comes out of some earlier sketchiness about confidence, right? A vote of confidence usually comes when someone has done or said something for which their trustworthiness is in question, and so they make a statement or a vote of confidence to say, well, on reflection, you're trustworthy.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
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 So, did we do all the definitions?
Yeah, we did.
Wow.
We did. So, building confidence. Coming back to the leather community, the journey, stuff like that. education to build your skill set, so you have confidence in your ability, is a big one. The confidence in being a person of the word, right? Doing what you say, saying what you do, and making sure they match, builds confidence. Your actions match your words.
Right. Do what you say. Do what you say. What you mean what you say. That part of it, right?
Through that consistency, will you build confidence with other people?
I have a question.
Yes.
If you're new, right, and you come into the leather community particularly, and you see covered masters, you see people who are heads of household, you see people who have these titles or facilitate a bunch of classes or run spaces, how can a person that's new have confidence? I mean, just because someone wears a cover, does that mean that they're worth having confidence in? Like, how would you evaluate that?
How would I gauge that?
How do you gauge that?
So I would come back to, if the rules are posted. One, do they have rules posted? Two, if the rules are posted, do the actions match the rules?
Okay. So, like, if they say, like we say, no threats or challenging behavior, and then you watch somebody get a little bit belligerent, right? You watch how the event producers handle it according to their own guidelines.
Yeah.
Right.
Or another one is if they say, this is a safe space, but they don't have a process to submit either complaints or information that needs to be passed.
Right. Like a community conduct policy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Shameless self-promotion.
Well, I mean, we didn't make that up.
No. But we talk about
it all the time because it's not that's not out there all the time, right? Like, if you go to an event and something happens, a misstep, something that somebody gets treated badly, or how does the place handle it? We just had that happen. How does that get handled? And then watching how people in position of power, authority, leadership, whatever, handle it. It's really great. It's really easy to be a great leader when everything's going well. It's like when things happen, then how do you handle it, right? And then I think, answering my own question, I think watching how leaders handle difficulty or challenges is a good way to gauge whether or not you can have confidence in them.
Yeah. I was just writing about this, about gatekeeping, how some places use the approach of gatekeeping as curating our community, meaning they pick and choose who comes in because of wanting to create and maintain a certain space, to a fault where they're negating or rejecting people based on age or gender, stuff like that. Right. So,
I mean, like the organizations that require you to send pictures because they gatekeep for actual physical attractiveness.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, you have to know then, if that's the space you're going to be in, that there's a certain degree, because there's a certain degree of judgmentalness to me about that. Like, if you can't look a certain kind of way, right, that you can't be part of our club, right? I want to know that that's what matters to you, because then I know that that's not the space I want to be in.
Yeah. And now to the other side of gatekeeping, spaces that are created for particular subgroups of people is a very particular difference.
Yes.
Right.
And that's a different kind of safety, right? Different people, the different walks of human experience, that you want to be in a space that's a little bit more contained, so you can address those things, like being trans, like being gay, like being whatever, being men, women, like, and then being able to honor those spaces so that they stay safe for that. That's what you meant?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then again, like, how is that managed? Yeah. I think that I can there's examples of that come to my mind that have nothing to do with this lifestyle, but that in other places, right?
Give it.
That like in certain circles that I go in, there's it's a women's group, let's say, but it's around a certain topic, like that has to do with like recovery stuff or whatever, and a man shows up at the meeting. Well, there's some women in the meeting, they'll be like, you can't be here, this is a women's meeting. But upon quick reflection, that person who happens to be male presenting is hurting and really needs the reason why you're all there that has nothing to do with the gender, like the topic of recovery or whatever it is. Can we make an exception? Can we agree, everyone in the room, can we agree to make an exception for this out of concern for the human being who has shown up? So it's like, why is someone trying to be in the space? Did they get there by accident, or did they, so there's circumstances, I think, around some of that. And for me, watching a leader act with compassion also engenders confidence for me. So for instance, in this particular case that I'm talking about, if I'm in a women's meeting and someone's running the group for the day and someone shows up, a male person shows up, but they're clearly in trouble, does that leader say to the group, can we take a quick, we call them group conscience, can we take a quick poll around the room? Would we be okay if this person stayed today? Them understanding that an exception's being made for them because we care for you as a human being. We can see that your suffering today is greater than whether or not we're here as men or women. And can we agree to do that? I have confidence in a person that can do that. That just doesn't go by a definition without ever understanding that sometimes there's exceptions that need to be made and can be made and can be made conscientiously.
So sometimes confidence can be an absolute outcome. Meaning, I have the confidence that this person is going to fuck that up.
Yeah, okay, that's a certain kind of confidence. Anybody know anybody like that? I bet you do.
Right? So it's like, it's a sure bet, right?
Yeah.
And I think...
That's like giving people rope.
I think confidence... Well, how about... How about applying that on a broader scope like that? For example, there's people out there, myself included, where we're not always a person with confidence. But sometimes we can remember that we can do things confidently.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's helped me in the areas where I have wavered in my confidence, is to understand that, like, I don't have to feel 100% confident about something to be able to do it confidently. Right? In some ways, doing something confidently enough times bolsters up my confidence. When I can see that I can do something confidently, and I know you hate this phrase, fake it till you make it, because I know you don't believe in it, but when I can step into something that I'm not 100% certain about, right? Doing something confidently sometimes can mean, holding myself up taller, putting my shoulders back, speaking with a full voice, and I can walk myself through those pieces of what does it mean to do something confidently. And then the end result of that is I gain confidence.
But you weren't faking that you were doing it.
You were doing it. But I wasn't confident yet, as confident as I would become when I practice doing things confidently. Because a confident person stands up straight, speaks clearly, holds their shoulders back, and I don't have to have the internal feeling of that for me to be able to engage in the behaviors of that. This comes under the category of don't think your way into right action, act your way into right thinking.
Keep going.
Well, I mean, and this comes in, like, if I waited to feel like working out, I would never do it. So if I do the behavior, then the feeling comes afterwards, right? Like, if I waited to feel confident enough to do something confidently, I would maybe never do it. So what I can do is do the behavior. I can behave confidently, and then my feeling of confidence comes on the backside. If I waited till I felt 100% confident to do something, there's a lot of things I would maybe never do.
Build confidence by saying yes.
Okay.
Get up and do it.
Yes, and.
Yes, and.
Yeah, that's it. It's the same thing that I'm trying to say. Say yes. Just do the thing, whatever the thing is, and you don't have to feel it to do it.
I build confidence by saying yes and not no but.
Yes.
And what does confidence look and feel like?
Standing up straight and pulling my shoulders back and speaking with a full voice. Those are some of the ways that confidence looks like.
I said yesterday, for 5'5", standing up straight makes me really tall.
Yeah. It's true, though.
Oh, my shirt's inside out this whole time.
You just look like you put a t-shirt on. Nobody knows the difference.
When my confidence wavers, I focus on my affirmations to get stable ground and self-assess.
Yeah.
Build confidence by not doubting yourself.
Sometimes that's practice too, because I think doubt is normal. I think it's normal to doubt, and I think that I do think the way we talk to ourselves. This trends into how am I talking to myself? What are the voices in my own head saying to me? It's one thing to have doubts. It's another thing. It's this thing about like I've made a mistake. I'm not a mistake, right? Like if I make a mistake, but the internal dialogue becomes self-deprecating because I buy into an idea that if I made a mistake, that means I'm a mistake. I'm a bat, whatever. And you go down that rabbit hole of negative self-talk. You can wipe your confidence right out.
So let's talk about that. What do you do when you lose confidence? Well, if I lost confidence, I'm gonna throw it back to you about 30 years. If I was playing Street Fighter and my brother beat me, and I lost confidence in the next round, I'd unplug his goddamn controller so I could win. I'd cheat to gain confidence back. But think about that. Think about if losing confidence in someone and something.
Yeah.
How do you gain it back?
Some of it is by having compassion for myself, right? Understanding that I made a mistake. Some of it's evaluating. Why did I make the mistake? What happened? Doing a postmortem on the thing that happened. Did I miss something? Did I misunderstand something? Was I not certain about something? Because a lot of it, I think, depends on the circumstances that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like what did you lose confidence about?
Yeah.
Right? Did I make a mistake in a scene? Did I end up almost hurting somebody and I didn't mean to? Like, did something happen that way? Then I need to go back and evaluate what happened so that I have a much better chance of it not happening again, right? And in some ways it was like, well, I didn't negotiate clearly enough, or I didn't ask enough questions. We had that incident that happened those years ago with the impact scene, right? Like the specific questions didn't get asked about pain medication, right? The takeaway from that experience, the shaking of the confidence, and then the takeaway was these specific things have to be covered every time we negotiate. We can't take for granted that people are either on pain medicine, that they've done anything different than what they normally do. Like, we have to have a conversation about it. And I think that was one of the things. And so that bolsters confidence back up.
Yeah.
I then have confidence that I'm not going to have that happen again.
Yes.
Right? And
yes.
so
the recovery.
The recovery, right? How do we recover? And that I didn't do anything wrong, right? That even if I made a mistake, there's a difference between doing something wrong and making a mistake.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and a lot of that is, what did I know? Or what did I not know? Because I think mistakes a lot happen from a lack of understanding, a lack of knowledge, a lack of, for me, a lot of times it has to do with communication. Sixru, thank you. Reflection and figuring out how or if you want to come back and try it again.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, because sometimes the decision is I'm not going to do that again. And I'll be real confident about that. I'm not going to do that again. Right? Like, no problem. I'm good. So that happens too sometimes.
Yeah. So, standing tall, feeling tall, moving with knowing,
certainty.
How does it look and feel for you guys?
I'm just going to say that part, yeah.
My confidence level grows immediately when I see somebody belittling somebody who is not as confident. Yeah.
Well,
that's a protector defense mode. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
We
yes.
both have that.
I understand that.
I mean, they don't call me mama for nothing. Like, don't mess with mine.
Yeah, that's a very good one.
I have a. Can I get up real quick?
Yeah.
Let me grab something real quick.
Not the tripod I left on the table.
No, do you want it?
No. What is she getting? Let's see.
This is just a cup. It has a sticker on it.
Oh.
And the sticker says, I'll read it to you. It says, not so much a mama bear, more like a mama llama. pretty chill and calm, but I'll kick you in the face if you mess with my kids. Like that.
So, what else does it look and feel like?
Sometimes for me, confidence comes from pausing. Something's going on, and I need to reassess what's happening, rather than just fall into something. I just take a step back and evaluate what's going on, so I can make a decision from a place of more confidence.
Or when can confidence jam you up?
Say more.
When can confidence not work out and be?
When it's not real.
When else?
I don't know when a kinder, softer person.
Or what if you don't have all the information and you lead into something with full confidence?
Oh, well, but that's what I mean. That's false confidence because you didn't have all the information.
But you didn't know you didn't have all.
But you didn't know. That's true. I don't know the answer to that question. Some of what happens for me sometimes is...
so it's like, imagine you had two curtains over two doors.
Okay.
And they said behind door number 1, right? And behind door number 2 is X, right? And they said, but you have to run through the wall. Through the curtain. Through the curtain, right?
Okay.
Now, you can't see, there's nothing to give away, right? So, you run and you take off and you run into the curtain with confidence. Not knowing behind one of them is a brick wall, right? But like, you didn't have all the information. You did with all the facts at hand, but they didn't tell you there was a brick wall on the other side. You just have to run through there and claim your prize.
Now, could you have asked?
No, because you just...
Well, if there's no way to know any different, then we don't really have a choice. But if...
No, but there's not the if question. Like, you just... Like, on a rainy day, you make a left turn to go up your house, and you don't stop because no one's ever coming down that road. Because there's a stop sign.
So you turned confidently.
Because no one's ever there.
Because over time, every time you come down that street or whatever, there's never been anybody there. But there's a stop sign.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. You had a way to know.
But if you live up that block, you're not gonna stop at that stop sign. It's not like you're visiting. It's like,
well, if there comes a time where there is someone, you won't do that again.
I'm gonna call you. Neither will they.
You won't do that again.
I'm gonna call you on that stop sign thing in the future. I'm be like, you remember that stop sign thing I said back in 2024?
You mean the next time I have a car and I can drive it?
Yeah. No, listen. I made a note about that.
Yeah.
Stop sign, left turn. Hey.
Oh, well, the hour's almost up. This has been really awesome.
Talk about tomorrow's question.
So tomorrow's question is, what does it mean to be vulnerable? What does it mean for you to be vulnerable, for other people to be vulnerable? What does it look like? What does it feel like? So we're going to, just like we did confidence today, we're going to do vulnerability tomorrow, all about vulnerability.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are great. I hope you guys enjoyed this.